Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, you beautiful, beautiful souls. Now today I feel relaxed, I feel amazing, and I wanted to discuss with you about laziness. Now I know a lot of people, I think in almost every video now you're gonna see me fixing this camera. Now, usually when I say laziness, people think that as a bad thing, and usually parents say, oh, you're too lazy, you can't clean up your room or make your bed, or stuff like that, or you can't learn that, or you're being lazy, or you can't get your butt out of the couch, or you're being so lazy. But the thing is, laziness is, simply put like this, is not being inspired to do something. Because if you think about it, if there is something that you actually like doing, let's say some subject in school, maybe you liked art, or I don't know, your own language, there was usually one subject at least that you would ace, that you had the best score. Or when you would come back home, there was probably some TV show that you could watch for 24 hours without sleeping. You weren't lazy to do that. But if you had to watch something that you don't like, or read a book that you don't like, or do something that you're not feeling inspired to do, you wouldn't do it. So essentially, we're not being lazy, we're just not inspired. And I think that comes with chores as well. Usually people, including myself, are not thrilled about hoovering our apartment or house or wherever do you live. Or some people don't like washing the dishes or ironing or stuff like that. But so it's not about being lazy. I think every single one of us, if there is something that we're happy about doing, we're gonna do it. So we're not being lazy, we're just not feeling inspired to do stuff like that. So if you don't want to be lazy, first of all, it depends on whether it's, can't say necessary, but whether you're gonna feel better after doing it or not. Let's say your home isn't clean as much, and when people come, they're like, oh, you have to clean up your room, whatever it is, apartment. Would you feel better if you would have it cleaned? Or if you have a family and you don't like ironing, you're like, oh my god, I have to iron for so many people, like, I don't give a damn. But you can always do it in a way of feeling thankful. Now, again, it depends on whether you want to do it or not. Try to see how are you gonna feel if you're gonna do that. But for most of the things that I don't feel inspired like doing it, I try to think that I have, let's say, people to do that stuff for. For instance, I don't necessarily like cooking. That was never my thing. I know how to cook, I just don't enjoy much. Now that I've stopped actually eating meat and stuff, I enjoy it more somehow. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I enjoy it more, but I don't love it. If there was someone that they could cook for me every single day, I would say, go ahead. I'm never gonna cook again in my life. I would be fine with that. But when I cook, I'm like, okay, I have someone to cook for. Now that my daughter is eating even more as opposed to before, we're not just introducing solids now, she actually has meals during the day, and I cook for my fiance as well. When I cook, I'm like, thank God I have someone to cook for. Thank God that, maybe I don't feel like doing it, but they'll feel better. When my fiance comes back home from work, he'll be just able to, relax and eat. He won't have to think about, what am I gonna eat? He'll have a cooked meal, and, except for Fridays though. He had this thing before when he would buy Chinese food. Obviously we don't eat that anymore on Fridays, but I was like, okay, I don't have to cook that day, so we can continue that. Obviously we don't eat Chinese now because it's mainly meat in it, but we still do something else. Usually as opposed to me cooking on Friday, we have leftovers from previous days. I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but I always find a way, like, okay, if I don't have to cook, you did this before me as well, so we can do like, brilliant. But again, when I do cook, and I do cook most of the time, I just say thank you. thank you. You know, sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but I'm like, okay, I have someone. Some people would wish that they were in my place. Some people would wish that they would have, you know, their loved one, their fiance, their kid, their, you know, to cook for. And, you know, some people are looking for the love of their lives or wanting to have a child and they can't have their child, and, you know, they would cook all day, every day if they had to, just to get that. So, you know, in that respect, I really trying to get myself inspired, even though I don't like cooking. Now, some people do that with ironing. Oh my god, thank god I have I don't know, a man or a woman in my life that I can iron for. I don't do that. I have to say right now, if there's any chore, and I said this before when I met with my fiance now, I said, if there's any chore that I don't have to do, please don't let me iron. I just don't. I come from family of 5. My brothers used to change their stuff all the time. They used to tease me that they used to tell them that if they babysit me when I was little, if they look after me, that I would iron their shirts when they grow older. And again, I was too young to realize that they were messing with me. And I used to iron the shirts all the while, and trust me, I don't like ironing shirts. I think we had like 2 rounds of washing per day. That's how many clothes they would change per day. Maybe it wasn't every day, but I was so young, and for me it was, we always had a pile of washing to iron. It was insane, always, all the time. So, you know, I'm like, if I cannot iron, I won't do it. It happened maybe a couple of times that I ironed, but when I buy stuff for myself, I make sure I don't have to iron it. You know, I find a way. But let's go back to being lazy. This video has gone in such a different direction. Anyway, another part of that is that people push themselves too hard. And not only that they're not, let's say, being lazy, but they do too much. They don't sleep, not like few days a week, but they can't remember the last time that they've slept. They organize their house and they have to make sure that everything is clean every day. Or, you know, they're constantly busy. They don't have time to relax. They don't have the time to charge their batteries. And for me, there is another video that I announced that I'm gonna make, but because the way I feel now at this moment, I'm filming this first and then I'll make the second one after this one. Yesterday I had an afternoon nap with my daughter, and for the first time after a year and something, that I actually didn't feel tired, and that I didn't have a fog in my head, and that I was actually able to, you know, play with her even more, to do stuff around the house more, to just have energy, to feel inspired to do stuff. And I think it's so important for people that push themselves too hard to be able to find something for themselves so they can relax, so they can recharge their batteries. Because if you're empty, all of the things that you do, you're not going to do it fully. And yesterday when I did that, I was like, okay. And I did this this weekend. Like, I just let myself be lazy, not in terms of that, you know, I didn't do anything, but, you know, I try to stop myself. I'm like, okay, I don't have to do this right now. I can do it later. I don't have to do it now. I can do it in an hour. Let's just relax. And that's what I did. And again, yesterday when I had that afternoon nap, oh my God, I was a completely different person. I couldn't believe. And I know I even before kept saying, oh my God, I'm tired. But, you know, it is the way it is. You know, when my daughter reaches 5, 6, 10, I don't know, maybe there'll be a night when I'll, you know, a day when I'll feel rested. And yesterday I felt rested, and I'm like, it is so important to try and be lazy, because so many people don't allow themselves to be lazy because they'll, you know, someone will think that they're lazy, which is like a bad thing, because, you know, lazy is it's so bad, it's a bad thing. And I'm here to tell you that you have to allow yourself, if you are one of those people, to be lazy, To tell yourself, okay, today I'm going to relax, whether it's for 5 minutes, an hour, a day, whether you're going to go somewhere for a weekend, if you can allow yourself to do that, whatever that may be. For me, it was that afternoon nap with my daughter. When she was asleep, I went to bed, and I did this before a few times, but it was never like this. I don't know what changed, whether I was that tired that I went to sleep, whether she didn't wake me up during my REM stage. I don't know what it was, but oh my God, honestly, allow yourself to be lazy. Allow yourself to recharge your batteries. That's what I'm on about. Because you can do so... For me, the way that I was playing with my daughter was completely different. You know, sometimes you play because, you know, I love her and I do play because I want to, but I don't have the energy to be, you know, what I always want to be, because I just didn't, I just couldn't. You know, I was just drained. And last night we were playing, we were laughing, I was jumping up and down, up in the air, I still have the energy, and it was so amazing. I'm like, I'm actually a better mum because of this. I am a better, you know, even as a housewife, let's say, at this moment, because I am, you know, with my daughter all the time. And even just to be able to do some things around the house that, again, I would do before, but I would like, now I enjoy it. Now I'm like, oh my God, I actually have the energy to do this. Even the chores feel so different, and I feel excited doing them, and I feel so amazing because I have the energy, and everything around you just shifts, and it's so different just because I've charged my batteries, simple enough. And if you, and I assume all of you have phones, if you have a phone, what do you do when the battery runs out? You charge your batteries on the phone. But most of the people don't charge themselves. They drain themselves up, and then they stay drained, and you can't function, properly when you do that. And simply because of my current experience from yesterday, but it's still going on, try and allow yourself to be lazy. There's nothing wrong with that. And if your batteries are drained, you need them fully charged. If you are gonna charge your phone, charge yourself first. And I think that's the main thing. One of the things, again, that I'm gonna be mentioning is meditation. It depends on what type of drained you are, if it's physical, if it's mental, but even simply just sleeping. So many people nowadays, they just can't sleep well, or they would sleep for an hour, or it would take them hours just to fall asleep. There are so many different techniques now how you can do that with relaxation, again with meditation, whether it's guided, whether it's just breathing, whether it's, you know, even some nice music in the background, whatever works for you. You can try different things. You can Google how to go to sleep faster, what helps other people, and then choose what you think it's going to help you, what resonates with you the most. But the lack of sleep, and again, as a mum, I thought this was normal, which it is normal. I mean, normal, what's normal nowadays? But, you know, I always looked, okay, this few years are going to be like this, it's fine. You know, it is the way it is, because I don't have anyone just to look after my daughter. Like, you know, usually people have, I don't know, their parents or someone to look after my daughter, and, you know, at least maybe once a week, or to help around the house, but I don't. And, you know, just the fact that I was able to do that yesterday, my God, the way that I woke up, it was just, and again, it was because I was being lazy. Instead of doing stuff around the house that I usually do when she's asleep, whether it's cleaning the bathroom or whatever that may be, because again, you always have stuff to do around the house. There's always some chore to do. So I would do that while she was asleep. I told myself, no, go to bed, go to sleep. You have to sleep, go. And I did. And it feels amazing. And yay, laziness. So again, laziness just means if you're, let's say, too lazy, if you consider yourself to be one of the lazy people, whatever you want to do in your life, try to think about the end result. If it's an exam you want to pass, try to just focus on the feeling that you're going to feel after you pass that exam, whatever that may be. If you didn't practice it for a long time, it might not work out for you from the beginning, especially if maybe it's an exam. But try to practice it as much as possible with every aspect in your life, whether it's cleaning, whether it's studying, whether it's, you know, whatever that may be. There are some parents that are too tired to play with their kids. Don't be one of them. I'm not one of them, and I never allowed myself to be one of them. I was tired, but I would still, you know, find a way to play at least hour, 2 hours with my daughter, because I try to learn from other people that have been through this experience, and they all say they grow up so fast. And if you're not in that present moment with your child, they're simply going to grow up and go. And I am aware of that, and I don't want that to happen to me. And this past year and, you know, a bit, I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. I do have that privilege of not having to go to work for 8 hours and stuff like that. I know that I'm lucky in that aspect. But even if you do work, even if it's for 15 minutes, turn off your TV. And I think anyone can do this, even if you work. There is, for most of you, a moment when your child is awake and you can play with them, whether they're 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, even to talk to them. Turn off your TVs. Don't look at your phone. Turn off the phones. Whether you don't have to turn them on completely volume. Move them aside. Move them into the other room. Talk to your child. Play with them. Take that time for them, because you both need it. You need to connect with your child more. You need to know about your child more. You want your child to be happier, and the kids are happy when parents play with them. I watched another video where they would interview their kids, like, how do you play, what do you play with, and how often do you play with your parents? And the kids would say, oh, I don't play with my parents. They say they're too busy. Don't be one of them. Yes, you're busy, but you can always put aside 15 minutes, 30 minutes to talk with your child, to be happy with your child, to play with your child. Don't ever put that aside. My mum always did that with us. So I know it's possible. She worked, she did all the chores around the house, because that was the thing that, you know, I don't know whether this is a cultural thing or a time thing or my town thing or just most of the people were, but, you know, my mum grew up in families where women would do everything and then men would just work. But my mum worked. My mum did all the chores. We always had a cooked meal. Always, everything was clean, and she always had time for us. And I think that's so important. Again, it doesn't have to be too much, but you have to think that your child is gonna grow up and you'll never take this time back. You need to be present. And again, that's why meditation and all this stuff, but being present with your child, with yourself, with everything, it's worth so much, because you only have now. You don't have anything else. Even in 5 seconds, there is going to be now. This is past again. That is going to be in the future again. What is in the past doesn't matter anymore unless it's good. If you're reliving something that is bad in the future, that hasn't happened yet, so don't even stress over that. Be present as much as possible, and that also helps with laziness, because you have more energy, you're more aware, you're more inspired to do stuff, because you don't think, oh, if I don't do, you know, you're just, okay, I'm doing this, I'm present, what can I be grateful for, what is this good now, you know. Focus on your arms or whatever it is, what they're doing, the movement. Try not to think about just many things, just let go. And try not to think about it too much. That worked out for me quite well. So this is, again, another longer video. But what can I do? So I hope you enjoy. I hope you allow yourself to be lazy, or if you think that you are and you want to improve on that, just get yourself inspired in any way that you think it's gonna work for you the most. And I'll see you again with the next video. Love you all. Bye.